I'm Henry Bonsu, Director of Programmes at Colourful Radio and the host of today's debate about whether or not we should move beyond slavery. Today was a very, very good day. We had some excellent presentations, especially from Dr. William Les Henry, looking at the legacy of slavery and how it keeps us in a particular kind of mindset and condition in modern Britain. And it was difficult to keep on the main topic of how what took place for all those hundreds of years impacts on the minds of young people here in this part of the borough. But I think we kind of got to a resolution in the end, that it needs communities gathering together, empowering each other and teaching the young people that they're more than the descendants of the enslaved. What really needs to happen though is for people to address the real issues of how young people feel about themselves, about their territory, about the lives and the opportunities that are presented to them, because they think they have nothing. They've got no idea just how much they have because they haven't been taught about themselves, where they came from, how modern Britain came to be the way it is. And unless adults, particularly those closest to them and their teachers, give them that context, then they will continue to attack each other, destroy each other, because they feel there's no real consequence and they have nothing to lose. And they need to realise they have everything to lose, because in this current modern Britain, there are many, many young people out there who've got no idea just how much they have, and we've got to tell them and give them the way, the tools for them to achieve their potential.
It seems that a lot of people get involved in these kind of things because they don't see that there's any future. So what would your answer be to that?
My answer is to give them a future, not just today, but when they start in the earlier years, 5, 6, 7 years old. Yes, in the home, but if the home doesn't do it, then it has to be school or a voluntary sector organisation, which is why the councils and other public funding bodies need to really give them the money and champion them, because they're doing the work that needs to be done. For young people to grow up in a vacuum is a very, very dangerous thing. And nature abhors a vacuum, which is why we're seeing so many young people engaging in abhorrent behaviour. And really work with young people who are not going down the wrong road. Don't make them feel abnormal because they're doing the right thing. Boost them and make them go even higher. Not just role models, but goal models. And there are kids of 13, 14, 15 years old who can act as goal models to their counterparts even now.
My name's Megaman. People know me as Hell Mega. People know me as Christian name Dwayne Vincent. So solid crew, so solid founder. Be true, money. Streets is watching everything, you know. Today's meeting actually shocked me, because I really thought that a lot of black people in this country wasn't fully aware of how far their history goes. Or even when you touch on the topic of slavery, we only blame the Europeans for their hand in slavery. You know, and to me, hearing about the history before slavery, understanding all these issues of how we need to tackle modern day slavery, as well as understanding that slavery is not finished. It's still here and it's still alive, whichever way you call it, even in this country. So in most situations like this, I'm more happy to be in the forefront and actually speak out a lot. But today I was real pleased with the chosen speakers, because they touched on a lot of things better than I would have, or even as good as. So you know, they've done the job for me. But it's very interesting. I really want people to actually walk away from this meeting and keep in contact with situations like this, so that we can grow and become hundreds and thousands, so that when we're demanding things, we do not demand in vain. We demand in the true cause of what we need for our people. The gun crime issue is a real long subject. It's not something that I can't target the police, I can't just target the system. It has to start from the ground, you know. Anything that is grown starts from a seed. Every animal, every plant, every living thing. We really have to tackle it at that beginning process, rather than the process of it growing into a tree and blossoming into flowers, as us human beings and many animals and earthly plants do, you know. So to me it's a long subject, and if I just say one in particular thing, someone might see this and say, no, Mega, it's this as well, it's that as well. So, you know, we need to focus on the younger generation. Yeah, the older generation feel they're past it, which they're not. My generation, well, I'm 28, so our generation, we understand we're not past it. We're just striving for greater things, but we really have to start educating and planting the right, you know, knowledge into the younger generation, you know, and keep it there and condition them in that way and get them thinking in the right way, you know.
My name is Ty. hip-hop artist and enthusiast for life. I think today was a very good meeting, a very good springboard for emotional release about the toxic suggestions of moving on or moving away or just basically shutting up. When people talk about moving on, what they mean is shut up. Stop talking about this. And I think that we tackled it adequately, and I think it was very clear that the idea of enslavement is not an idea to be taken lightly. The idea that people are not at war, I think a brother really made a point that actually it is a war being waged against this type of people in regards to the constant miseducation, constant misrepresentation, constant miscalculations that are made in regards to understanding black people. So it's good for us to start dialoguing about that. My word for this year is dialogue. We have to dialogue, everybody. And the idea that African history has to be shared is, I believe, that it has to be shared to everybody, like everybody. All of the young Greek kids that are running around with hoodies, all of the young white children, all the young black children, all the young Asian children need to all actually understand what African history is, to actually understand the people that are standing before them and how to perceive them. And I think that it's an enlightened perspective to stand from. I don't think it's just about black people. I think the mistake is being made by a lot of people by assuming that it's just black people that need to have that information. No, the Queen needs to understand the history of why she's where she at, and why it's might be deemed as a little bit disrespectful to ask people to kneel at a memorial for something that they haven't done anything wrong for. So this is definitely a great beginning. I've had a couple of meetings like this where people are speaking and getting that point across, and it's a good start. It's a very good start. The gun crime is but a symptom of this problem. So to me, all types of negative scenarios that are happening in society right now have an actual start point of why they're happening, and that's what we're looking at tackling. So we're actually looking at tackling the thing that is causing that problem.
Time and again I host events like this, and you see people getting really frustrated towards the end because they haven't had enough time to express their point of view. And what we say is, look, this is just one event. There are so many other debates and discussions and platforms we can have if we get the backing, the funding and the support, because these essentially are not just about education, but they're also safety valves. Because if people don't get the chance to speak and free up themselves, then that energy has to go somewhere else, and it can sometimes be expressed negatively. So councils, public organisations and funders need to realise that there is an end benefit which might be intangible today but may bear fruit tomorrow.